It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hey! Today, we are joined by none other than Jonathan M. Alexander. Don't forget the M. It's like saying Wheezy F, baby.
With Big Sarge,
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned into I almost said Sports Talk with Big Sarge. Texas Tailgate Talk Show, Texas Happy Hour. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports Z at the end. Follow me on the ticker and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. Hi. We have a special guest. Hey, look. All right. I'm going to tell y'all the same thing I had to tell y'all when B. Scott came on. Listen. Even though he's a guest on the show, he's not a guest, okay? I have to say for production purposes, we call him a guest, but he got a key to the house too. Y'all don't embarrass me, okay? Y'all wait till he leave. Y'all know, look, y'all did a great job last time B. Scott was here. When B. Scott was here, y'all did an outstanding job. So don't embarrass me. Jonathan, your parents ever had to tell you that?
I was a good child, man. I ain't getting no trouble.
You didn't get in no trouble at all.
I ain't getting no trouble at all. I was a good kid.
John, you do realize that in a couple of days I'm probably gonna see your father, right?
And he gonna tell you, oh nah, he was a good kid.
He gonna say that. He gonna say that in front of them people. But when
Uh,
it's just me and him,
yeah.
wait, how old is your father, Jonathan?
I think he's somewhere around 65, 66.
Oh yeah, me and him gonna have us a good talk. He doing good though, right?
Yeah, he doing great.
For those of you all who don't know, this is Jonathan M. Alexander. He is the Houston Texans reporter for the Houston Chronicle. Jonathan, before we start the show, man, I gotta say this. Hey, you know you know who some of the most dangerous and gangster people is on earth? Like who some real gangsters?
Who's that?
Mall walkers. Bro, have you ever been around mall walkers?
But they be
Jonathan, and you better get out of their way. Like if you
yeah.
don't get out of their way, like they'll give you an opportunity and a chance to to slide over a little bit. But if you don't, oh, they are aggressive. I was in the mall today and I didn't have no headphones on, but I was walking with my phone this that, and the other. I could hear them coming, but I didn't move over because I'm thinking that I have enough room. Well, them two old ladies walked up on me,
Oh my
like,
god.
and I just hear them in the back. I was like, oh, excuse me. They didn't even say nothing. They just like kept walking. And then there was this older couple that came through, Jonathan. They came through and they bumped me out the way and kept walking. I said, you know what? I'm good, bro. I'm good. I don't want look, I don't want no issue and no problems with mall walkers because they are aggressive. You would think that by their age, you'd be like, oh, hey, Nana. Hey,
Mhm.
Paw, how y'all doing today? Hey, you get punched right in the mouth. Speaking of getting punched in the mouth, Jonathan,
That's funny.
how was joint practice today against the Carolina Panthers?
Man, it was good, man. I'll be honest, you remember the joint practice last year, right?
Yes.
I felt like it was even last year between the Panthers and the Texans. And I felt like this year, man, I was talking with a couple other people. I just felt like the Texans were in a different class this time. Like they just looked ahead of the Panthers, which was a little surprising because I know the Panthers added a lot of pieces. But of course, we knew the defense was going to be dominant. But the offense was better than the Panthers' defense too. I mean, we didn't see a lot of explosive plays, but C.J. Stroud connected with his receivers, and his offensive line didn't allow him to be hit, which I thought was a huge thing because that's the one thing that we've been focused on. Can the offensive line protect C.J. Stroud? And they had their best performance out there today.
Yeah, I was. That's one of the things that I was watching. Because you all did an outstanding job. For those of you all who are out there, I want to make sure that I was keeping up with what you all was saying, and that was the overall consensus. But Jonathan, some of the Panthers reporters, and I guess they had to do it that way because they didn't want to seem biased. But some of those Panthers reporters was like, "Yo, the Panthers defense is really controlling this Texans offense."
Yeah, I saw that from like their in-house reporter,
Yeah,
and then the one of the radio guys who's very well known in this area. I was a little bit surprised they had that because I didn't see it the same way.
yeah.
And they do a good job, so I don't want to talk about them. But I don't know. I don't know what they were. I don't quite know what they saw because I had my eyes on the offense the whole time versus defense.
Yeah,
And maybe they were excited about that there weren't many explosive plays, but those 10-yard plays add up.
yeah,
Uh, they were getting first downs. I think the Texans, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 7 or 9. I think it was 9 drives that the Texans had in Teamville's first team offense. They had 3 and out twice, and they had first downs on just about every other drive. So I mean, they did their thing. The Panthers defense, they did okay stopping the run, but other than that, it was pretty easily the Texans.
it's one of the things. It almost seems as if, and like I said, I was reading you all's. You all were putting out the updates on social media, and I was reading those, and it brought me back to something that I had said early on in training camp on not only on this show, but other shows as well. I think I may have said it on the cookout once. I know I've said it with B Scott, but I said when people start criticizing the way that C.J. Stroud is playing in training camp, I kept reminding them he's going up against the number one defense in the National Football League, and that's why I asked you. You remember when J.J. Watt attended practice on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. When J.J. Watt was there, I was like, how is this going to make going up against that number one defense? How is that going to make C.J. better? And so, one thing that I kept harping on though was if the, the Houston Texans offense, led by CJ Stroud, did not have to beat their defense 100% of the time. If they could be 70% successful on plays against that defense, that's 100 and 110% against other defenses because they don't have to go up against that defense every day. Is that something that was shown today against the Panthers, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had a much easier time against the Panthers than they did the Texans defense. And the Texans defense knows the offense to a T. They know what they're gonna run, so they're used to them. Not to mention that they're being good, but they're an elite defense. But they also know what they run. And I think for the Texans offense, I think maybe last year they had become frustrated, like, dang,
Mm-hmm.
we can't get anything. And I think this year they're like, all right, we don't get anything against them today. Let's not get down on ourselves. I just talked to one player who told me that.
Yeah,
And I think that helped them in here. They know that if they lose to the defense on a given day, it's not really indicative of who they are as an offense.
yeah,
That it might just be that number one, this is elite defense, and number two is a team that knows everything that we about to do. So you go against the Panthers who don't know what the Texans are gonna do, and then they have an impressive showing. So yes, I think that contributed to it, and I think that the Texans can hang their hats on the fact that they are a solid offense and they can make some moves. Now there are going to be some defenses that get them
yeah.
that have schemes that could hurt them, but I think overall they're going to be good enough this year.
Yeah. We're joined by Jonathan M. Alexander right here on the Texans Tailgate Talk Show, the Texans Happy Hour edition. Jonathan, one of the biggest questions that a lot of fans and media members have is how will the team be able to adjust without having wide receiver Jaden Higgins, and this is the first time that they've had. This is the first time that offense has went up against another team since losing Jaden Higgins in that joint practice against the Raiders. And so, what did the wide receiver group look like today?
Yeah, I thought Nick Caley really had those guys prepared. You didn't see any drop off with Xavier Hutchinson. He made plays. He was one of the guys making plays. Of course, Nico's always gonna make plays, and that's CJ Stroud's safety blanket. But Xavier Hutchinson looked good. Had a couple jump balls on some receivers. He found some open spaces. I didn't see a drop off, and I didn't see anything significant. I even saw Jared Wayne have some nice plays. Jalen Noel had a touchdown in the red zone. Um, Dalton Schultz had a couple of nice catches. So, and then you're going to add Keishawn Boosie and to this team, and who knows what can happen. He's a deep ball threat, and that's something that the Texans really need. So, um, they made the right move in doing that, in my opinion. I thought they had to do it, and with him, they're only better.
Yeah. And I noticed that he was at practice. You all reported that he was at practice and temporarily at number 88 until after the Texans make their final roster decisions. But John, I mean, I'm pretty, I'm thinking that number 9 may become available here sometime soon. But we'll wait and see. Jonathan, I seen him at practice. Did he practice? Did he participate in any of the team drills?
No, he didn't participate in any team drills, and D'Amico Ryans talked about it. There's going to be like a ramp up period for him.
Hmm.
They're not going to insert him fully. They want to first see how he responds, or where he's at body wise, how he responds. I'm sure weather plays a part. You come from Boston, you go to Houston. That Houston heat is different. But a lot of the things they do in New England is a lot different than what they do in Houston. So they don't want to just insert him in. But I have a feeling that he'll probably start getting acclimated probably late this week and probably early next week.
Is he strictly an outside receiver, or can he play slot as well?
I'm sure Kaylee will try to move him in a slot. I think he played mostly outside receiver when he was with New England. But I'm sure Kaylee will try to do everything he can to kind of move him around. But the Texans do have a good amount of slot receivers. The thing about Higgins, though, was that even though he started out outside, they started experimenting with him um, on the slot and moving him around, and they thought that was a real benefit for them. So I'm sure Kaylee will look for ways to take advantage of his strengths as well.
Yeah, and with that being said, Jonathan, how much does his ability to stretch the field open it up open it up underneath for players like Dalton Schultz and even even if with David Montgomery and Woody Marks coming out of the backfield?
Well, to be honest with you, I would flip that. I would say players like Dalton Schultz and even Nico Collins might potentially open up things for Keishawn Butte. And I think
Oh, okay.
there's one play that was made against the Chargers that really reminded me of that. And I think you might have remembered. Was it to Jalen Noel or was it to Jaden Higgins? It was one of those
They both
touchdown.
had big plays in that Chargers game.
Yeah, and it was one of those touchdowns, and I think it was the one to Higgins. But everybody was putting so much attention to Nico Collins over the middle that they just left Jaden Higgins wide open for a
Yeah.
touchdown. And I think you're probably going to see those type of opportunities for Butte as well.
Yeah. Sticking on the offensive side of the ball, Jonathan, I haven't gotten the opportunity to watch what D'Amico Ryan said after practice, but do we have a Braden Smith update?
No, it appeared he suffered a lower leg injury. Him and Ali Gay. Um, I'm sure they probably won't know the extent of that injury until tomorrow morning, probably after he gets his MRIs or X-rays. Um, I don't know how bad it was, um, but he did have to be carted out, which is never a good sign. But I think Adam Schefter reported it is a foot. And unless it's a Liz Frank injury, foot injuries don't typically keep you out for the year. But I don't want to speculate on what it is.
You know what? I definitely need to talk to you offline because I don't like to say that I don't like to wish injuries upon anyone. Not nobody. I don't want to see nobody get hurt because I know what it's like to be injured. But I was just gonna say, like, I mean, sometimes, especially in professional sports, injuries can be a blessing in disguise. We'll talk about that at another time. We definitely have to wait until the depth chart comes out before I elaborate on that thought a little more. Jonathan, who stood out today?
Yeah, I mean, I would say two players in one unit stood out most. Now you had some players who also played well, and I'll give them shouts too. But two players who stood out were Daniil Hunter and Kalen Bullock. Kalen Bullock had 2 picks. Daniil Hunter had 5 sacks, and I was talking to one person who said he probably had 6 sacks. I saw
Yeah.
4 with my own eyes, and I was looking at the offense and just peeking at the defense every now and then. So if I saw 4, you know it had to be more.
Yeah.
Um, but Kalen Bullock had 2 interceptions, 2 nice ones. You know he's going to be a ball hawk. And then the unit, I just thought the offensive line in general as a whole played very well. I mean, C.J. Stroud wasn't sacked once in that joint practice. So if you combine how many times Bryce was sacked versus the Texans, like that is a really good sign. I think there was probably one opportunity that could have been called a sack, like CJ Stroud was trying to escape and say maybe he caught somebody or he tried to slide, then you could call it a sack. But for the most part, they really held up extremely well.
Did Ted McMillan practice today?
Yeah, he did. He
Uh,
practiced.
who was he lined up against?
Stingley was mostly lined up against him. I didn't see any big plays from him. I saw a short slant route. Like I said, I watched mostly offense, but I did see a short slant route against Stingley in the red zone, but the Texans didn't allow a touchdown on that particular drive I was watching.
With that being said, Jonathan, I'm not gonna hold you up too much longer because I know, like, for those of y'all who don't know, Jonathan is originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. Is Charlotte? You originally from Charlotte, correct?
Absolute born and raised.
Yeah. So Jonathan is from Charlotte, North Carolina, and so I need to hurry up and get him off here so he can go. His stomach probably still hurting for eating that nasty ass Bojangles, but that's another story for another time, Jonathan. We gonna
Hey, put 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 in the comments what's better, Bojangles or Whataburger.
Yeah, but they're two totally different establishments, though, Jonathan.
Well, who you
Like,
want to
like
go?
they're really two total. Like, wait, Bojangles serve dinner?
Yeah, of course.
I thought they was a breakfast establishment that closed at 2. Wait, hold on. You telling me Bojangles stay open till like 9?
Yeah, they probably 10 or 11.
Well, what are they serving? And what do they serve after breakfast?
Chicken tenders, fries.
I thought that's what they sell for breakfast with gravy
What?
on the
Yeah,
biscuits.
it's just like Popeyes, 2 piece and a leg, thigh.
How many damn places you go compare Bojangles to? Now, first you just compare it against Whataburger. Now we gotta say, hey, look,
Well,
you compare it to Whataburger, you can compare it to Popeyes, French's. Hey, wait, hold on, James Coney Island, because they sell hot dogs too.
well, I was trying to think of a Houston establishment. What does Houston have that compares?
I don't know because I don't eat Bojangles. I told you one time I ate it one time and it hurt my stomach. But you know what? For you, John, wait, hold on. Let me not lie to you. Because I was gonna say, for you, I will go. I'm gonna go to Bojangles when I get there on Friday, because I'm there from Friday to Sunday. So my
Okay.
wife and I will go to Bojangles, but it isn't for you. It's for content purposes.
Put it on video, post it, and you gonna do a natural reaction. You know what? I want you to ask your wife because I know she won't lie in the video, and I want you to ask her too for her opinion. I don't want to see you mouthing. Say it's nasty. I don't want to see it. We need to have cameras on both of y'all.
but Jonathan, I was gonna getting back to joint practice. I was gonna ask you was Any of what you seen from the defense caused by Will Anderson? Was it the Will Anderson effect today?
Oh, for sure. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter were having success, particularly on a rookie. Will Anderson was getting a lot of pressure on Bryce Young. It just so happened that Daniil Hunter, got some of the sacks, but Will Anderson was definitely causing havoc. That whole defense, is nothing to mess with.
And the reason why I asked about Will, because I wanted to get people are definitely going to ask about Will, and I want to get Will out of the way so I can focus on Daniil because I kept seeing his name coming up. If you remember, on Monday, JJ mentioned Daniil Hunter as well, and I'm like, it's almost like he's becoming the forgotten guy, and I was like, how can you forget? Like Daniil Hunter's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And so he's going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I keep saying to myself, like everybody focuses on, and Daniil could care less about the attention. I mean, Jonathan, we get an opportunity to talk to him on a weekly basis throughout football season. We know that Daniil could care less whether he's getting, any type of praise or accolades or things like that. He just want to go out there and do his job. But I keep telling people, hey, let's not forget that yes, Will dominates, but you got another dominator on the other side.
oh for sure. I mean, I thought those guys were equally as good last year. And the good thing about Will Anderson is number one, he's probably going to be entering his prime this year. And then he's going to be playing on the other side of a guy who does not appear to be leaving his prime.
At
So
all.
yeah, yeah. So that's a scary sight for many quarterbacks. And yeah, I'll be interested to see who is the sack leader this year.
Yeah. Couple of more, Jonathan. And like I said, I am going to get you out of here. What? Someone in the comments asked about Marlon Klein. Did he get an opportunity to play today?
Yeah, I saw Marlon Klein make some catches. He was mostly when I saw him with the second team offense, and I did see him make some catches. I don't recall any big plays or anything like that, but overall, it was a pretty successful day. Even Davis Mills had some success against the second team. But I didn't see Marlon Klein be a standout, but that's not a bad thing. He'll have his opportunities.
What about Keelan Rutledge?
Keelan, he was along with that offensive line. Like that offensive line was stout, man, and they didn't let C.J. Stroud be touched. And I kept waiting because we'll be in Texans practice and C.J. Stroud will be holding the ball a little bit because he can't find anybody, and then
Yeah.
that defensive line get to him. It didn't happen with the Panthers.
Did you during the observation of the defense, did you get an opportunity to see Caden McDonald?
I didn't pay much attention to Katie McDonald at all, to be honest with you. I wasn't really looking for him like that, and I definitely wasn't looking at the second team uh, Panthers offense because every time I turned, I look over there at the Texans second team offense. So I didn't see Katie McDonald much.
It, it's really like how it was at the joint practice against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's because it it's almost, and I know that you, myself, and DJ, we definitely share this sentiment. It's like, yes, we can watch the defense, of course. There's nothing wrong with watching the defense, but it's almost like I know what they're going to do. We know what they're going to do. Like
Yeah,
we know exactly what to expect from those guys, especially if they stay healthy throughout the year. I guess the biggest concern and the focus is always on it. Like you said today, you wanted to focus and see what that offense was look like. And so I remember, you direct a lot of your attention towards that offense. And I mean, Jonathan, that's some good stuff to hear, especially knowing that a lot of these, a lot of the guys that participated in joint practice today won't be playing, on Saturday, and
yeah.
it'll be the final opportunity for them to be able to final opportunity for some of these guys to make this team, and some to put more on tape because they're not going to be a part of the Houston Texans, but they may be able to be picked up by somebody else. Jonathan, last question I have for you. You and I didn't get an opportunity to discuss, well, the trade. and that's with the New England Patriots sending wide receiver Keyshawn Butte here for reserve safety Jalen Reed, and they sent them a pick too, right?
7th round pick.
A seventh round pick. Jonathan, what was your overall what was your overall view, or what was your overall view of that trade, and who do you think won the trade?
No, I thought it benefited both teams like equally. Like I don't think anybody lost that trade. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people say the Texans got over on the Patriots. I don't agree because number one, I think Jalen Reed is going to be a starter in this league at some point. Might not be this year, but I think next year he'll be a starter in this league, and I think he'll be a good starter.
yeah,
Um, at the same time, the Texans had to give him up because it was a price to pay for a wide receiver who was good.
yeah,
Um, and the Texans had to do it. The Texans, you don't make a move like that if you don't believe you're a Super Bowl contender. And the
yeah.
Texans didn't want to take that chance, so they got him. And I thought it was a good move for them as well because now you add another playmaker. And the offense is really the biggest thing. The Texans really were deep in safety, especially with MJ Stewart coming back. So it was one that I felt like they could afford it. And then the Patriots knew that they weren't going to use Butte much this year or as much as they had. And they knew that he wasn't coming back. So they had to get somebody. So I thought both teams fared out well from the trade.
You said the Texans getting who back?
You said what?
You said with the Texans getting who back?
No, MJ Stewart is going to be a. Are you talking about MJ Stewart?
You said especially with the Texans getting who back?
I don't
You,
know who you talking about.
you said MJ Stewart, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about it?
Well, we'll talk offline.
You have to.
Jonathan, wait,
What?
hold on. You believe in you know what? I'm not going to even say that because then it makes it seem like I'm trying to set you up. I'm not trying to put you in a gotcha situation. And hold on for 1 second.
Uh-huh.
The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by Big Sarge on the Texas Tailgate Talk Show is Big Sarge's and Big Sarge's alone. It does not reflect the guest.
Let's talk.
Now,
Let's talk. Let's talk about it.
I don't think that I don't think that in the long run that we'll sit back and say that MJ Stewart was a better safety than Jalen Reed.
I didn't say
I
he.
know you didn't say that, but you said with them getting him back, and then I'm saying to myself, well, if that was the determining factor, I'd have been like, hey, we just got to run with what we got, fellas.
No, I just think they're. I think that they are comfortable with it because they have MJ Stewart. Like, I think if you look back on last year, why did they feel comfortable cutting CJ Garner Johnson? Because they felt good about that MJ Stewart. He might not be a Pro Bowl type of guy, but he gonna do his job.
But they also
And
had Jalen Reed, who was outperforming C.J. Garner Johnson in training camp until he got hurt.
yeah, but they were always gonna put MJ Stewart. He
I
was
know,
he was always gonna be the starter. So I'm not saying MJ Stewart has a higher ceiling than Jalen Reed. Jalen Reed probably has a higher ceiling.
and that's what
But
I was trying to say. I wasn't trying. That's why I was saying I wasn't trying to set you up. That's what I'm
oh yeah.
sorry.
Oh no. Nah, but I think they trust him and plus he has very good special teams ability. But they trust him that because really in D'Amico's defense, all you need to do is do your job. That's all you
Yeah,
need to do. You do your job, we don't need you to do nothing extra. This is my D'Amico uh when I say we. Uh
your D'Amico impersonation.
yeah, this is my D'Amico impersonation. Like we don't need you to do nothing else but do your job. And MJ Stewart is a definition of a do your job kind of guy.
Oh
So
wait, hold on, Jonathan. Do your job, because I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna probably use that when I talk to you, throughout the season. Hey, Jonathan, who's a do your job type guy? Throughout the season. But
yeah.
and I understand what you're saying, Jonathan. But okay, so this is how I see it, right? Like even against even against the Patriots, Jalen Reed gave up a touchdown to Stephon Diggs. Remember that? He
Yeah.
was on Stephon Diggs on that touchdown that he made. And if you look, of course, I mean you're going up against one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, even though he's on the other side of that. But he positioned his body and positioned himself to be in the right place at the right time. Reed made a great play. Drake may just made a better throw. But even if he gets there, he knocks the ball away. You could tell that, hey, that's from him being a rookie, right? That's from him being a rookie. That's from him not having as many reps as he could have gotten, especially coming off the injury. When I look at it, Jonathan, I'm saying to myself, okay, I understand, and I understand. Without if Higgins don't get hurt, Reed is still on his team. But I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Like, okay, so Jonathan, you got when you look at Jalen Petrie, he's a guy who ain't afraid of smoke. He's not the biggest guy, but he's strong, right? You look at I almost called him Reed Shepard. You look at Reed Blankenship. You
Big ass.
look at hey, hold on now. Hold on. Reed Shepard to put some muscle on, man. Don't do that, Jonathan. Don't do I see Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard to put some muscle on, bro. He's taking his protein, brother. But Jonathan, when you look at Reed Blankenship, him and Petrie, they're like, they are the exact same player pretty much. Jalen Reed is that same box safety that you have in Jalen Petrie and that you have in Reed Blankenship. He's a big guy who isn't afraid to tackle, who is definitely good at stopping the run, and he can come down. You can put him in, like I said, in the box, become a box safety, and keep Kalen up top. I just felt like I understand. I understand what the Texans had to do. Like I understand it. Like I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it though, Jonathan, because if the Patriots are supposed to be Super Bowl contenders, if they're supposed to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl again, then why would they give him up? This is no shot. This is no shot because I know how people like to clip things up. I'm not taking a shot at Keyshawn Butte. I'm wondering why would they give him up if they have the same goals and aspirations as the Texans?
Well, I mean, I talked to a guy for the Patriots, um, and he was basically saying like there was no future with him because they had traded for AJ Brown, Romeo Dobbs. Butte was not a number one receiver, so you got to think like, are you going to pay him? He wants number one receiver type of money. This is me assuming.
Ah,
And so, like, are you going to pay a guy who's going to be your number two or number three? That's why they went and got Romeo Dobbs. And so, like, they were going to have to share catches. So the Patriots wanted to get something from him, for him because they knew they would have to part ways with him at some point. And
gotcha.
they felt like now was the best time. They talked to other teams, couldn't get much. And then, the Texans come around and, Jalen Reed is a possibility. So that's how that happened. Um, like I said, I think it was an even trade on both sides. I don't think anybody beat anybody over.
Yeah. And like I said, I get it, I understand it, and that makes a lot of sense because since I forgot he's still on his rookie deal, and so it's almost like he's a 1 year rental for the Houston Texans, kind of like what Stephon Diggs was when he got here. So and like I said, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I like his skill set. I do, and I need to, and maybe I need to just see how this thing is going to play out. But I could see how Jalen Reed could be inserted into that defense, to help out. I don't have anything against MJ Stewart at all. Period. He's never been nothing but nice to me, so I'm not here to criticize him. I was just strictly talking about from a football standpoint. I feel like Jalen Reed's upside is better. I'm sorry, not better, but Jalen Reed has a bigger upside than MJ Stewart does. But MJ Stewart has been in the league for a long time. So, and Jalen Reed was good on special teams as well, Jonathan. But anyway, man, tell these people where they can read all of your great articles and see all of your content. You're doing a lot of Here's my three things that you all should know what happened at Texas training camp.
There you go.
One, Sarge is really like he's really, really a good guy, and he really knows a lot of things. I mean, I tend to pick his brain a lot in practice, so I'm really appreciative for Sarge. That's not what you
That's what that'll be my next observation.
say. But Jonathan, wait, hold on, Kamari Ramsey. Hey, I'm gonna come back to y'all. We gotta let Jonathan go. Like I said, he got dinner reservations with his parents. So, Jonathan, you and your daddy gonna play golf?
Um, I don't know. We might have a little bit of time Friday, but I hadn't figured it out yet.
Oh, before the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Jonathan, tell these people where they can find all your great content.
Y'all can find me on HoustonChronicle.com, of course, and then follow me on social media, JONM Alexander on Twitter, and then JONM Alexander underscore on Instagram and TikTok,
I feel like
and
I know
YouTube too.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Where it on YouTube?
JONM Alexander underscore Chronicle.
You got your own YouTube page now with the Chronicle?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I posted some of my interviews over there. Some of my videos. I'm gonna have some. Oh, I'm glad you still got me. I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna have some heat coming soon. I'm gonna
No,
have.
I believe you. I
Yeah.
believe you, Jonathan. I look. Let me tell you something. I watch the way you operate.
Mhm.
Like, I look. You think I didn't see you the other day after after Coach came out the tent and him and Omar was walking there? You thought I didn't see you run out of that tent and run that. run. You thought I didn't see you,
There you
right?
go. Yep. See. So then we.
I
So then
said,
we going. What
I
you say?
said, look at Jonathan. I said, look at Jonathan going. He going to get he scooping up something. I know he about to go get some type of scoop. He trying to get he got to get some information. Now, Jonathan, I didn't know that you had a YouTube channel. I'm gonna have to make sure that I go and follow that. Yeah, and especially let another person know. Oh, hey, Jonathan, trying to step on your toes in the YouTube game. You better watch out.
See, I can't follow y'all on the shows. Y'all got the shows down pat. But I'm gonna cook us some nice little content that y'all gonna have to wait on.
For sure, Jonathan. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your time. I will see you on Friday. Yeah, Friday. Yeah, our flight gets in Friday morning, so I'll see you at the game.
Okay, I'm gonna be expecting that Bojangles video.
Now the Bojangles video won't come till probably Saturday. We'll probably do Saturday, or if I can put it off Sun. I gotta, yeah, I gotta be Sunday, Saturday, Jonathan, because my wife's probably gonna have to take care of me because I'm gonna be sick, and we have to fly on Sunday. So I'm gonna have to do it early Saturday because I'm probably gonna be in the room with a stomach ache the whole time. Hey, wait, what do you suggest? What is your Bojangles go to meal?
I think you're gonna have stomach ache because you ate so much. All right, so get the chicken supremes and the bow rounds, and then have a bowberry biscuit.
Hold on, and say that again.
A bowberry biscuit.
What was before that?
Bow rounds. It's
You,
like
you,
it's like
oh,
hash brown, like hash browns. So chicken supremes. Mark this down. Chicken supremes,
uh
bow
huh,
round,
uh huh.
bowberry biscuit, and a sweet tea. Hey,
Hold on,
thank
Jonathan.
me later, Mama.
But Jonathan, wait, are you sending me to a restaurant or are you sending me somewhere to get jumped? Like I'm not trying to be in. I'm cool with where I'm at. Yeah, bro. When you get to Bompton, what?
Hey, hey,
Oh
wait,
yeah, bro.
wait
Hey,
on it.
Bo Berry, brother. Bo Berry. Yeah,
Hey,
BJ Stroud.
hey,
Hey, wait, Bo Berry, Bo. No, Jonathan, you trying to? I'm not trying to be in no game, Jonathan.
hey,
I'm a pawpaw. I'm in the pawpaw game. Whoop
hey.
whoop.
As long as you don't say Coberry, you good.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it, man. I'll talk to you offline, Jonathan.
All right, peace.
Woo! That was good. That was I like that. For those of you all who are just now joining us, you're gonna have to go back and watch this because it was really good. Jonathan M. Alexander from the Houston Chronicle gave us some very good insight on joint practice on Wednesday between the Houston Texans and the Carolina Panthers. I had been seeing a lot of the stuff online. I had been watching a lot of I've been watching a lot of what was being said online from him. Aaron Wilson was there, Landry Locker, Cody Stutes. Like it was a lot of updates coming out of training out of that joint practice. And there's some people that I follow who cover the Carolina Panthers that I'm really cool with, and I can't wait to see them on Friday. But I was just I kept hearing that that defense was dominating, and I was like, cool. I just needed just a little bit more insight on what the offense was doing. All right, y'all got to get up out of here. I will be back tomorrow. I didn't get an opportunity to ask Jonathan about the uniforms and what he thought about them, but don't worry about it. Y'all know Sarge got y'all covered. We definitely gonna talk about them because them uniforms are fire. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk Show, all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because we do everything for the gram. Big Sarge! I'm out.
That was Big Sarge.